After my brother moved in without asking, I found my bedroom door padlocked and my clothes dumped in the garage. When I asked for my own key, my mother said, "You're a guest in this house now. Respect that." My brother just grinned and said, "Maybe learn to knock." 3 months later, I changed the locks and left a note. "Welcome to my rules." So I've been steaming for weeks now and finally made an account to vent this BS to people who might actually get it. Needed somewhere to dump this rage before I literally explode. Let me set the scene for you guys. I'm Hugo, 30 years old, and I busted my ass for 6 years saving for a down payment on my house. Nothing fancy, just a modest 3-bedroom in a decent neighborhood. But it's mine. Or at least it was until 2 weeks ago. I had to go out of town for this training thing. Was only gone for 14 days. 14 freaking days! And I come home to find my bedroom door in my house that I pay for, with a freaking padlock on it? At first I thought I was being pranked or something. Like maybe I walked into the wrong house? But nope, that's my living room, that's my kitchen, with dishes piled everywhere BTW. I'm standing there with my duffel bag like WTF is happening when my brother Felipe walks out of my bedroom wearing my clothes. For context, Felipe is 27, never held a job longer than 6 months, and thinks the world owes him everything. Classic youngest child syndrome if you've ever seen it. So I'm standing there in shock, and this MF just smirks at me and says maybe I should learn to knock before entering rooms in the house. The house, not my house. Like we're suddenly co-owners or something? I go to find my stuff, right? Turns out all my clothes, my personal items, everything was dumped in the garage like trash. Some of it was even damp from the garage humidity. My collection of signed memorabilia that I've been building for years, tossed in a box underneath a leaky shelf. And here's where it gets even more twisted. My mom Rhonda comes walking in the front door with groceries. She doesn't even live here. I never gave her a key. She sees me standing there confused AF and has the audacity to act like I'm the one being weird. When I demand to know what the hell is going on, she tells me, and I swear I'm not making this up, that I'm a guest in this house now, and I need to respect that. A guest in my own house that I pay the mortgage on. Edit. Forgot to mention the kicker. When I asked for a key to my own bedroom, Felipe just grinned and told me maybe I should learn to knock. The rage I felt in that moment could have powered a small city for a month. Turns out my perfect mother and deadbeat brother cooked this whole thing up while I was gone. Felipe got evicted from his apartment, shocker, for not paying rent, double shocker. And instead of getting him to face consequences, my mom decided my house was the solution. The first night, I had to sleep on my own couch, in my own house, while these two acted like they owned the place. I'm not kidding when I say Felipe had the TV blasting until 3 a.m. playing some Battle Royale garbage with his friends online. And when I asked him to turn it down, Mom comes out of the guest room, where she's apparently staying now, and tells me I'm being selfish. Selfish! Let me count the ways this situation is completely foobar. They moved in without asking while I was gone. They locked me out of my own bedroom. They threw my belongings in the garage. They're eating my food. Philippe invites his loser friends over constantly. The electric bill has tripled because he runs the AC 24/7. My mom is enabling this entire thing. I'm sleeping on my own couch. It's been 3 weeks now, and things have only gotten worse. Felipe has basically taken over the entire house. His crap is everywhere. Empty bags of chips, dirty socks, those stupid energy drink cans. The bathroom is disgusting. I found beard hair all over my sink. I don't even have a beard. Last week, I couldn't sleep again because of his late-night gaming sessions, so I was completely wrecked for an important meeting the next day. When I tried to talk to my mom about it, she went on this whole guilt trip about how family supports family and how Felipe is going through a tough time. You know who's going through a tough time? Me! And don't get me started on the financial drain. This dude showers for like 45 minutes, blasts the AC so it's practically an icebox, leaves every light on, and eats enough food for 3 people. My utilities have literally tripled since he moved in. When I mentioned this to my mom, she suggested I pick up some overtime, if money is tight. The audacity! Yesterday, I overheard Felipe talking to one of his friends on the phone. The engine in my chest was revving with rage when I heard him say he's planning to stay here rent-free permanently, that he's set for life now, that I'm too much of a pushover to ever kick him out. A pushover. You know what's the most messed up part? My mom keeps saying I should be grateful for the company since I was all alone in this big house. Like she did me a favor by moving my entitled brother in. Like I'm some lonely loser who should thank them for stealing my house. I'm at my breaking point, you guys. Last night I couldn't sleep again and was scrolling through Reddit at 2 a.m. when it hit me. This is my house, my name on the mortgage, my sweat equity in every room, and I'm living like a hostage. I texted my buddy Luke about the situation, and he thinks I'm being way too nice. Says if someone pulled this crap with him, he'd go nuclear. And you know what? He's right. So I'm making a plan. The kind that's gonna make Felipe wish he'd never messed with me. The kind that's gonna make my mom realize I'm not that little kid she can push around anymore. I'm done being the reasonable one. They think they know what they're doing. They think they've got me figured out. They have no idea what's coming. We'll update when I've put my plan in motion. But trust me, this engine is revving, and I'm about to shift into a gear they didn't even know existed. Update 1. So things have gotten way worse since my last post. Remember how I thought Felipe taking over my bedroom was bad? That was just the freaking warm-up round. The day after I posted, I noticed something that made my blood boil. Felipe had gone into the garage and taken my toolbox, the one with all my specialty tools that I've collected over years. Not only did he take them without asking, but I found them scattered across the backyard where he'd been fixing his buddy's bike. My precision ratchet set was literally rusting in the grass because he couldn't be bothered to put anything away. When I confronted him about it, my mom stepped in, of course, with her usual family helps family BS. According to her twisted logic, since Philippe doesn't have his own tools, he should just be able to use mine whenever he wants, without asking, without taking care of them. The next morning, I woke up to find my account logged out of all my streaming service. Turns out Felipe changed all the passwords because he couldn't watch his shows when I was using my own account on my own tablet. My account that I pay for. And the cherry on top? I got a notification that someone ordered $120 worth of in-game currency on my card. When I confronted Felipe, he just shrugged and said he thought the account was for the house. For the house! Like my personal finances are suddenly communal property? But wait, it gets worse. Last weekend I came home from grabbing groceries to find some random girl on my couch. Turns out Felipe's girlfriend, Valentina, has now moved in too, without asking. Without even telling me. She just showed up with 3 suitcases and made herself at home. So now my living room has been completely taken over. Their crap is everywhere. Clothes draped over furniture, makeup all over the bathroom counter, dirty dishes piling up. They've basically claimed the entire common area as their bedroom 2.0. I can't even watch TV anymore without feeling like I'm intruding on their space. In my own house, the bathroom situation is a nightmare. My shampoo keeps disappearing. My toothpaste gets used up in days. I bought a new razor last week and found it in the trash 2 days later, completely dull. When I asked about it, Felipe just said Valentina needed to shave her legs and didn't have her own. My stuff is not communal property. Edit. Forgot to mention that my water bill last month was triple the normal amount. Triple! Between Philippe's 45-minute showers and Valentina's apparent need to do laundry every single day, I'm basically funding a small water park at this point. I texted my buddy Luke about all this because I was about to explode, and he came over to have a beer with me on the back porch, the only place in my house where I can get any peace now. Luke actually helped me see things clearly for the first time in weeks. He told me straight up that legally, Philippe and my mom are squatters. They moved in without permission. They have no rental agreement, and they're taking advantage of me. Luke said I need to document everything: the damage to my property, the unauthorized charges, the utility bills, all of it. So I started keeping track, taking photos, saving receipts, making notes of every incident on my phone. It felt good to finally do something instead of just seething. Then my mom dropped another bomb on me. She sat me down for a serious talk about how I should consider selling my house and buying something smaller since I clearly don't need this much space. According to her twisted logic, Felipe and Valentina need the extra room more than I do because they're building a life together. Building a life together in my house, on my dime. The absolute audacity of this woman. I've never been so insulted in my life. She actually expected me to give up my house that I worked my ass off for years to buy, just so her precious baby boy doesn't have to face adult consequences. But the moment I truly snapped, when the engine in my chest finally redlined, yesterday I came home to find some random dude I've never met wearing my signed jersey, the one I've had since I was 16, the one I stood in line for 5 hours to get signed. This stranger was just lounging on my couch, drinking my beer, wearing my prized possession like it was some random shirt. I completely lost it, started yelling, demanded they all get out of my house right now. And you know what my mom said? That I was being childish and needed to learn to share. Share my house that they invaded. Share my possessions that they stole. Share my life that they've completely derailed. After everyone left for the evening, they've started going out to bars until 2 a.m., then coming home and waking me up. I overheard Felipe and Valentina talking about redecorating the living room next weekend. Redecorating my living room. They were literally planning to paint the walls and move in new furniture while I'm supposedly at work. That was it. The moment everything crystallized for me. This isn't going to stop. They're not just visiting. They're not just taking advantage temporarily. They are taking over my life, and they think I'm too weak to stop them. But here's what they don't know. I'm not weak. I'm not a pushover. I've just been in shock that my own family would betray me like this. This morning I overheard my mom on the phone with my aunt Kristen making plans for a weekend trip. Apparently she, Philippe, and Valentina are all going to visit Kristen from Friday through Sunday. They're planning to leave me home alone to cool off. Little do they know, this is exactly the opportunity I've been waiting for. I've already ordered new locks for every door in the house. I've purchased security cameras that will be delivered tomorrow. I've documented every item they've damaged, every unauthorized charge, every utility bill, and compiled it all into one massive invoice. I've cleared my schedule for the weekend. I've arranged for Luke to help me. Everything is in place. The locks will arrive tomorrow. The cameras will be installed by nightfall. And when they leave on Friday morning thinking they're giving me time to adjust my attitude, well, let's just say they have no idea what they're coming back to. My whole life I've been the reasonable one, the responsible one, the one who doesn't make waves. They've counted on that. They've exploited that. But the engine has been pushed too far. The gears are stripped. The red line has been crossed. I'll update after the weekend. But trust me when I say they wanted to play house, fine. But we're about to start playing by my rules, and I don't think they're going to like this game very much. Update 2. First off, thank you for all the support on my previous post. Reading your comments gave me the fuel I needed to follow through with my plan. Some of you were worried I'd chicken out. TBH, I was worried too. But let me tell you, when that garage door closed behind their car on Friday morning, something in me just clicked. I watched from the window as Philippe, Valentina, and my mom pulled away. They were all laughing and chatting, probably thinking they were giving me some space to cool off, when really they were giving me exactly what I needed, a full weekend to reclaim my house. As soon as they were out of sight, I texted Luke that Operation Takeback was a go. He showed up 30 minutes later with coffee and donuts like the absolute legend he is. We had a full day of work ahead, and I was amped. First thing we did was unbox all the new locks I'd ordered, not just for the exterior doors, every single door in the house. Bedroom doors, bathroom doors, even the hall closet. If it had a knob, it was getting replaced. No more padlocks keeping me out of my spaces. While Luke worked on the doors, I installed the security cameras, one at the front door, one at the back, and one covering the main living area, all connected to my phone so I could watch the whole glorious return unfold in real time. The setup was actually super easy. Took maybe an hour total. Then came the part that had me absolutely buzzing with anticipation, clearing out Felipe's crap from my bedroom. You guys remember how they dumped all my stuff in the garage, right? Well, payback time. But I didn't just toss his stuff anywhere. No, I went full petty mode. Every single item of his clothing went into black garbage bags, not folded, not organized, just stuffed in like the trash they are. His precious gaming setup? Carefully disconnected and placed in boxes. I'm not a monster. I wasn't going to damage his property, but I sure as hell wasn't going to make it easy for him either. By mid-afternoon, my bedroom was mine again. I washed the sheets twice, because the thought of Felipe sleeping in my bed made my skin crawl. I scrubbed every surface, reclaimed every inch. Then we moved on to the rest of the house. All of Valentina's makeup and toiletries, bagged and tagged. The pile of dirty dishes they'd left in the sink, washed, dried, and locked away in cabinets they no longer had access to. As we worked, I found more and more evidence of how they'd been taking advantage of me. Receipts for food delivery charged to my account. The water bill showing usage had quadrupled. My signed jersey thrown in the back of the closet with a stain on it. Each discovery was like another log on the fire of my rage. By evening, I was running on pure adrenaline. But the real masterpiece? The itemized invoice I stayed up until 2 a.m. creating. This thing was a work of art, you guys. 3 months of rent at market rate for the area. Utilities split 3 ways, but with extra charges for excessive usage. Replacement costs for damaged items. Fees for unauthorized use of my streaming accounts, my online shopping accounts, everything. The grand total? $4,738.22. I printed out 3 copies, one for each of them. Then I drafted what might be the most satisfying note I've ever written. Welcome to my rules. This house belongs to me. You have 2 options. 1, pay the attached invoice in full by the end of the month and find somewhere else to live. Or 2, be formally evicted with a record that will follow you to every rental application you ever submit. Your belongings are in the garage. You have until Monday at 5 p.m. to remove them before they're considered abandoned property. P.S. The security cameras are recording 24/7. Any attempt to damage property will result in additional charges. I taped a copy to the front door, another to the garage door, and just to be extra petty, I left the third one on the windshield of Felipe's car that he'd conveniently left in my driveway. Then I went to bed. In my bed, in my room, with the door locked. Sunday was weirdly calm. I spent the day deep cleaning the rest of the house, ordering groceries, and mentally preparing for the shitstorm that was about to hit. Luke checked in a few times, making sure I was holding up okay. I told him I'd never felt more clear-headed in my life. Then Sunday evening, right on schedule, I got the notification on my phone that there was motion at the front door. You guys, the look on their faces when they realized the keys didn't work? Priceless. I watched the whole thing from my bedroom on the security camera feed, and I swear I could have sold tickets to this show. Felipe tried his key like 5 times before he started pounding on the door. My mom looked confused, then worried, then pissed when she spotted the invoice taped to the door. Valentina just stood there with her mouth hanging open. I let them knock for a solid 10 minutes before I finally went downstairs. When I opened the door, I didn't say a word. Just stood there with my arms crossed, blocking the entrance to my house. Felipe immediately started yelling about how I couldn't do this. It was illegal. Blah, blah, blah. My mom tried the guilt trip route, talking about family and how disappointed she was in me. Valentina just kept looking back and forth between them like she was watching a tennis match. I didn't budge, didn't raise my voice, just pointed to the invoice and told them their option. Pay up or get out. Their choice. The neighbors were definitely getting a show at this point. Mrs. Wilson from next door was watering her plants and not even trying to hide that she was watching the whole thing unfold. Felipe threatened to call the cops. I smiled and told him to go ahead. I had documentation of them entering my property without permission, damaging my belongings, and making unauthorized charges to my accounts, plus security footage of the last 3 days. The cops would be very interested in all of that. That shut him up real quick. My mom tried a different angle, saying I was breaking her heart, that she'd raised me better than this, that families should stick together. I reminded her that when I asked for a key to my own bedroom in my own house, she told me I was a guest who needed to respect that. So I was just following her example. The look on her face when her own words came back to haunt her? Chef's kiss. After about an hour of drama on my front lawn, they finally gave up and left to figure things out. I watched them drive away, then went back inside my house, locked my doors, and had the best night's sleep I'd gotten in months. Monday morning, I woke up to 17 missed calls and 43 text messages, ignored them all, and went about my day. By 3 p.m., my Aunt Kristen called. Turns out my mom and Felipe had gone straight to her house to crash, and they'd been telling a very different version of events. According to them, I'd ambushed them and thrown them out for no reason. But here's the twist. Kristen didn't believe them. She'd always seen through Philippe's BS. And when she heard they'd taken over my bedroom and locked me out, she was livid. She actually apologized to me for not knowing what was happening sooner. 5 p.m. Monday came and went. No sign of them coming to get their stuff. So I texted Luke, and we moved everything to a storage unit. I paid for 1 month. That's all they're getting. It's been 3 days now. The fallout has been intense. The family is divided. Some think I went too far. Others are fully on Team Hugo. My cousin Amanda sent me a text saying she's been waiting years for someone to finally stand up to Felipe. Valentina apparently broke up with Felipe after seeing his true colors during all this. According to Kristen, she was horrified to learn they'd been living in my house without permission. She thought Felipe owned the place. She's already come by to apologize and collect her things. My mom is still giving me the silent treatment, which honestly feels like a blessing at this point. Felipe had to move in with our distant cousin who's charging him actual rent. The horror! The best part? This morning I received a notification that Felipe had sent me the first payment toward the invoice. Not the full amount, but a start. Turns out Kristen told him she wouldn't help him unless he took responsibility for once in his life. I don't know if I'll ever repair things with my mom or Felipe. And you know what? I don't care. Some bridges deserve to burn. My house is mine again. Every room, every corner, every square inch. No more walking on eggshells. No more missing belongings. No more entitlement. The engine is purring smoothly again, running at optimal performance with all the parasites removed from the system. Sometimes family needs to be treated like the trespassers they are.